Hello, today is the 7th of April, 2020, and this is just my little daily journal of what's going on in the world and the COVID-19. So I'll start with the statistics. And by the way, these statistics I'm getting are from theguardian.com. They've been the same place where I've been getting the statistics really almost the whole time. So I'm trying to get, when I say the numbers, they are not from different sources because different places you look have kind of different reporting numbers. So I'm trying to get it from the same source so it's at least consistent as far as we can see as far as growth. They say that this week is probably one of the weeks where we're going to see a big increase. They would say maybe the hardest week yet. It seems to be the case a little bit. There are now 387,000 cases, and that's up 20,000. So I'm recording this again about 8 o'clock at night. The number of deaths in the U.S. has risen up to 12,200, which is up 1,500. That's just today. Looking at New York, they're now at 138,000 cases, and North Carolina is now at 3,270. So, I mean, it wasn't that long ago when, North Carolina was just at a few hundred. Now we're at 3,200. Other stuff is they did say that I guess yesterday was the most deadly day in North Carolina as far as the number of deaths from the virus, which is not good, but we do expect, they do expect it to get a little worse before it's going to get better. So it's not completely unexpected. It's still just not the best of news. Other things on a local level is I just saw a little headline here about unemployment benefits. They had another 21,000 people apply for unemployment on Monday. So that's 445,000 people just in North Carolina have filed for unemployment. And I will say, because again, my wife is one of those, but she found out pretty early on. So we kind of got into the system, but it's a bottleneck. The system is very slow to respond. She's gotten 2 payments. They haven't been for the right amount as far as what we can tell based on what she should be getting. The government did this stimulus package where they're supposed to say you're supposed to get an extra $600 a week for unemployment. Supposedly that starts next week, and we will see if that actually happens. I don't have a lot of trust or faith. I'm not counting on it to be a thing. But we've been very frugal during this time. We've been very, very frugal as far as any kind of spending. And again, one of the big things is that we just haven't been paying any money towards car gas because we haven't gone anywhere. We haven't gone and done anywhere. Haven't gone out to eat, haven't done anything. We're very much homebodies right now, and just not really, we're just really kind of battening down the hatches. As far as like on the national level, I guess New York also had its largest single-day jump in deaths as far as from the COVID-19 thing. Interesting little side note that I had read, and I don't want to get into the specifics, but there's news channels, these news organizations that I try to find those that are as unbiased as possible, but there are a lot that are not. That's sad, really. And there's a certain news organization where they fired an anchor or a reporter, whatever, recently because she basically said this whole COVID-19 thing is a big scam and it's just, it's propaganda and all this, and it's irresponsible. I mean, when I got my degree in broadcasting, back in the 90s, we actually had ethics classes, and, that when we report the news, it's supposed to be unbiased. We're not supposed to pick sides. We're supposed to explain how it is. And, I mean, it's fascinating to me how these news organizations can be so terrible as far as what they're reporting. And it's, again, one reason why I got out of that field. So, as far as today was again, it's Tuesday. So I mean, I did a lot of stuff for work. Kind of still doing stuff, getting ready for the fall, grading stuff that's coming in for this semester, dealing with student issues. We are finding some students are coming up, are trying to manipulate the system. and we're dealing with that with different instructors and stuff. But not been a bad day. Haven't heard any bad news as far as from anyone that I know personally, as far as stuff like that goes on. Still just pretty quiet, but we continue to see the numbers come in. Hasn't touched us personally, so we can't really, it almost doesn't seem real. But if we walk away from this whole experience and no one that I personally know gets sick, that's a win. Okay, and that doesn't mean to be disrespectful to those who do get sick. It's just that, the idea of us taking all these extreme measures, is the goal is not for us to find people who do get sick, and that's what we definitely don't want to see that. Anyway, so that's it for today, April the 7th.